support for multipath disks in Mirantis OpenStack. Let's go to the basic workflow for this process. Basically, this feature means that in Mirantis OpenStack now we are supporting configurations where the compute node or controller or whatever can be used without regular disks, with only disk connected through the fiber channel card, or like it also called host base adapter card, connected through fiber channel to the some storage. So you can just take CPU box, connect it to some kind of NetApp storage or something else, and got working system. So how it works in itself, let's go briefly through workflow. If your hardware is supported from the Linux kernel by default, you just should connect all these things together, start bootstrapping this node, and if everything goes fine, then this hardware will be discovered automatically. Then if your nailgun agent will figure out what the multipath topology itself. It means that in system, a multipath disk usually presented like through the multiple device links. So you can see, for example, if we have, you can have two underlined block storage devices, and multipath collected it together as one device. So in Nailgun agent will figure out this topology and report only final collected device into the fuel. So in UI, when you go into the UI, you will see only multipath disks, and you can figure out that it's multipath disks, not the regular one, that this disk will have some special field, which some special field for information what disks was used for creating this multipath one. I will show it a little bit later. Then you just start provisioning, and if everything will go in fine, node will just provision it as usual and reboot into the target system. So let's go step by step through this steps. The first step is Bootstrap. If your host-based adapter or some specific hardware has support from Linux kernel, you shouldn't do anything in this step. But if it's not, you should build custom Bootstrap. You can find some documentation on Mirantis documentation portal how to do that. You should inject your drivers, hardware drivers, into Bootstrap and boot this node from the custom Bootstrap. Then, as I already told, Nailgun agent will do all stuff automatically and show all these things into UI. But if something went wrong, you can easily let's switch to the console. So to figure out what the multipath topology is, you can use command multipath -l. It will list you the multipath topology. Multipath topology shows you what the block storage devices will use as underlined. And it shows you what device was created as a result on top of these devices. So on top of these devices, we should get some kind of device mapper block storage devices, and to figure out what this device, what the devices are presented now in the system, you can just list the directory device mapper, and it will show you what currently multipath devices presented in the system. So these devices you should see in the Fuel UI, and system will recognize it as usual block storage devices and work with these devices. So in the Fuel UI, you can figure out what devices was founded on the node, and also it's can be necessary. You can the Fuel UI pick the disk which is bootable for this node. it can usually the first disk is bootable, so basically in most of cases you shouldn't do anything. But if your node configured somehow in a specific way, you also can pick some disk which you know is bootable at this at the UI, and then node will boot not from the first one disk but from the selected one. I will show this use case later on the live demo. So then we can start provisioning, and provisioning should go without should go as usual. At the behind the scene, the main thing which you should know about provisioning of a multipath device is that due to prevent conflicts between LVM and multipath, we need to figure to point to the LVM which devices should be used for the LVM subsystem and what devices shouldn't use for it. The main point of the main issue here that both LVM and multipath use device mapper, and because multipath disks present in system as through the multipath as through the multiple device link, LVM can catch the wrong disk or wrong dev link, and for example it can use underlined disk it can start use underlined disk instead of multipath one. So for prevent this, during provisioning, we create a whitelist filter in LVM configuration, which strictly points to the LVM, the multipath device, and prevents it for grab any other device. So if lately you need to add some disk to the node with multipath, you should reprovision it from the scratch, or you should manually adjust LVM configuration to enable LVM use new disks to use new disks. It's related not only for provisioning but also for building bootloader for the target system. But so you should carefully, if you going to work with multipath node directly by hands, you should be very careful about LVM configuration, and you should be sure that it's reconfigured properly if you want to LVM use new installed disks there, or you should just reprovision this node from scratch. It also should work fine. So let's now go to the live demo. We have hardware, which is actually two nodes. The first one, the first node simulates the storage hardware. It exposes 5 loons through 2 fiber channel cables, and it connected to the second node, which presented in the fuel cluster, and we will try to set up to provision this second node to enable it for installing OpenStack on it. So let's go to the demo itself. For this, we will go to the Fuel UI. Let's look through the node list. We see this multipath node. Let's go for the disk configuration. It will look like this. We see 5 multipath devices. Also, we see one regular device. That actually means that we support not only diskless configuration, but mixed configuration. But the main it's very important to say that we fully supported diskless configuration, so this disk can be not presented in the system, and also everything also should be fine. We should be able boot from the multipath node with any problems, multipath disk with any problems. So to let's pick proper bootable disk. In our case, it will be the first one. Apply changes, and then we can go to the provision. But before it, I want to also figure. I also want to mention that we support. We tested configurations not only with the 5 disks, but also which much more bigger amount of disk. The highest amount was 64 disks. Node with 64 disk provisioned a little bit slowly, but at least it works. Also, the big disks supported, so multipath disks can also be bigger than 3 terabytes. So big disk supports with no problem. We tested these scenarios too. So now let's go back to the dashboard and start provisioning selected node with multipath disks. So right now we have multipath node fully provisioned and ready for deploy software on it. So thank you for your attention. Bye.